Star Wars 7x7 episode 2694. Well, yesterday was Life Day, and I started talking about the Star Wars Holiday Special, revisiting the first time I rewatched it as an adult in 2014, and today we are moving from the boring to the awkward and continuing that conversation. Punch it. Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy, and thank you so much for joining me for it. So, it was episode 138, right? That's a long time ago. 7 years ago when I rewatched the Star Wars Holiday Special that came out in 1978. And this particular segment, so this is the second quarter of the Holiday Special, is definitely the most awkward one of all. I think compared to the first quarter, the shock for me back then, 7 years ago, me had worn off. But still, I mean, yeah, it's a really odd thing to experience and to think, oh, I was experiencing that when I was a kid as well. And my gosh, what did I think about it then? I can't even imagine. I just can't. And George Lucas himself has famously said many years ago that if he could round up every single copy of the Holiday Special and just smash it with a hammer, that he would definitely take advantage of the opportunity. I mean, the first part that we talked about yesterday had something where, you know, he doesn't necessarily cop to it now, I imagine, but it was apparently one of the things that he wanted, which was a whole bunch of Wookiee talk, right? Shri-Wook, just wall-to-wall Shri-Wook. And they went with it, but obviously they were like, well, yeah, what else are we going to do for the other hour and 31 minutes of this thing? I don't know. So yeah, let's have Art Carney come in. Let's have Harvey Korman come in, right? And then let's do the crazy stuff that we're going to do in this second quarter. So here, without further ado, this is me 7 years ago reacting to my first rewatch as an adult of this second quarter of the Star Wars Holiday Special. So I will say that if you can stand the first half hour, I'm already laughing thinking about it. If you can stand the first half hour of the Holiday Special, then things get awkward enough to be worth talking about. So we get Chewie's dad getting put into like a virtual reality chair by Art Carney, who says, oh, I think you're gonna like this, oh, like with just a little too much emphasis, and it turns out to be a long song and monologue by Diane Carroll about how she's not necessarily Itchy's fantasy, but the fantasy of whoever's watching it. And Itchy is getting a little too worked up to be comfortable for television. And then the stormtroopers show up, which, all right, now we actually have some element of conflict, which is pretty exciting. And yeah, actually, you start to get a little worried for them. Like, I actually had that moment of, uh-oh, this could be trouble. That is until Art Carney, who's still on the scene, sets one of the Imperial officers down to check out some object in the house, and it turns out to be a random like holographic display thing that allows him to watch an extended musical performance by the Jefferson Starship, and he cuts to him watching it with rapt attention, and Art Carney dancing occasionally in the background for this whole thing. Oh my word, it is so strange. It is so strange. I think even one of the guys from Jefferson Starship had been quoted as saying that he was tripping out when he was on the set for the whole thing, which I don't think they had to, like, just based on the shot, like, they couldn't have been anywhere near each other for this, so I don't know what the heck that's about. And this particular segment ends with them finally deciding to go search upstairs because they're searching for Chewbacca and any rebels, and even Darth Vader has already shown up with a vocal appearance by James Earl Jones talking about how they're hunting for rebels. So when the stormtrooper decides to go upstairs to look for any hidden people, Itchy tries to get in the way. Itchy gets thrown aside by the stormtrooper in the most comical way. It was like he said, okay, I'm just going to barely touch you, and Itchy's going to go flying. Like, I mean, really? This is what happens to a Wookiee when a stormtrooper? No, this doesn't work entirely.
This is what Chewie does to stormtroopers. God, Itchy must just be a complete lightweight, or either that or he's just tired out from all his fantasy watching. I don't know. Ugh. Anyway, there's more exciting stuff to come in the next couple episodes, so stay with us.
All right, there you go. My reactions from 7 years ago, rewatching the holiday special as an adult for the first time. And if you want to watch the holiday special for yourself, if you haven't watched it before, if you watched it as a kid and don't remember it, or even if you have watched it as an adult and you're like, yeah, I want to see this ridiculous thing again, well, it will be linked at the blog post for the show's episode at sw7x7.com and also in the show notes for this episode too. And that right there is going to do it for this episode of the show. It just remains for me to say thank you so much for joining me for it as always. May the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.
7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2021 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.